Fat loss is slower if you have a thyroid problem, but it's always possible as long as you have the right approach. I created this formula based on working with thousands of thyroid patients, and it works 90% of the time for weight loss. 0 alcohol, 8,000 steps per day, 5 grams of creatine per day, 90% whole food diet, 100 grams of protein daily, 100 hours of fasting monthly, 100 micrograms of 3,5-diiodo L-thymine daily, 100 grams of carbohydrates daily, 100 minutes of zone 2 training weekly, 6 hours of sleep minimum per day, preferably 7, and 1 full body strength training session weekly. This works for 90% of thyroid patients. The other 10% will probably need a few tweaks, and we'll get to that later. Here's why this formula works so well. 0 alcohol. There are no exceptions for this one. If you want your thyroid to do its job, you must cut out alcohol 100%. Why? Because alcohol is really just a poison to your thyroid gland and your pituitary gland. When taken, it disrupts the connection between the two, adds unnecessary calories to your diet, and slowly destroys your liver, which is critical for thyroid hormone conversion. 8,000 steps daily. One of the most underrated tools for thyroid weight loss is simply walking. You may think you have to do sprints or burpees if you want to lose weight, but that's not true. Good old walking can do the trick. This low level of intensity still stimulates your thyroid gland while keeping cortisol levels low. It also has the added effect of helping improve lymphatic drainage, which will help you feel slimmer in your clothes. Next, 5 grams of creatine. Creatine isn't just for bodybuilders. It's for anyone who wants better brain health, more muscle mass, and more energy. And if you're a thyroid patient trying to lose weight, you should want all of these things. It does this by providing your cells with an immediate source of energy. The more energy you have, the better your cells will operate. In a practical sense, this means your workouts are more efficient, your brain will be clearer, and you will have the energy you need to get up and go. I recommend that all thyroid patients take between 2.5 and 5 grams of creatine monohydrate each day. Next, 90% whole food diet. Diet isn't everything when it comes to thyroid weight loss, but you will never reach your desired weight without cleaning up your diet. The harsh reality is that thyroid patients will simply need to be more disciplined when it comes to their diet compared to somebody who doesn't have a thyroid problem. This means that 90% of the time, your diet needs to consist of clean and real whole foods. For the other 10%, you can have a little bit of fun, but don't go overboard or you will pay the price. Next, 100 grams of quality protein daily. More protein means more muscle mass, and more muscle mass means better thyroid function. But most thyroid patients miss out on this benefit because they are under eating protein. And this 100 grams of protein recommendation is enough to both maintain your existing muscle mass and help you to build more as well. You're not aiming to be a bodybuilder here with this intake. You're aiming to be lean and mean. Next, 100 hours of fasting each month. Hands down, the best way to reduce calorie intake if you have a thyroid problem is fasting. Unlike daily calorie restriction, fasting does not cause metabolic damage, it will not reduce your T3, and it will not increase your reverse T3. 100 hours of fasting monthly roughly equates to about a 250 calorie deficit daily if you spread it out. This is enough to help you lose weight while maintaining healthy thyroid function. The best way to reach this goal is to break it down into one 24-hour fast every 7 days, or roughly 4 per month. Next, make sure you take 100 micrograms of T2 thyroid hormone, also known as 3,5-diiodo L-thymine. T2's primary job is to help regulate fat breakdown, metabolism, and cellular energy production. Your body naturally creates it when it breaks down T3 thyroid hormone. But because most thyroid patients don't have enough T3 in their body, they don't have the substrate to create enough T2. The good news is that T2 is the only thyroid hormone available over the counter, and it can safely be added to all thyroid medications, or it can be taken by itself. My recommendation is to combine 100 micrograms of T2 with whatever thyroid hormone you're currently taking. Next is eat 100 grams of quality carbohydrates daily. If you don't eat enough carbs, you will tank your thyroid and your metabolism. But if you eat too much, you will trigger inflammation and weight gain. What matters most for thyroid patients is a combination of both quantity and quality. Quantity is the easy part. Your thyroid thrives on 100 grams of carbs daily. Eating this much will help your body convert T4 into T3. You'll have the energy you need to fuel your body, and it's enough to keep your cortisol balanced and healthy. Quality, on the other hand, is where most people get confused. But what you need to know is this: processed carbohydrates are bad. Whole food sources of carbohydrates are good. And yes, that includes fruits and 100% fruit juices. Next, you need to get 100 minutes of zone 2 exercise every single week. All levels of exercise intensity will improve thyroid function and help you lose weight. But one stands above the rest when it comes to your thyroid, and that's zone 2 training. Exercising at this level of intensity is sustainable long term, it's easy on your adrenal glands, and it's refreshing to the body. Get 100 minutes of zone 2 training in as your preferred form of exercise each week, and your metabolism and thyroid will thank you. Here's how to find that rate for you. Take the number 220 and subtract your age from it. This will give you your maximum recommended heart rate. Then take that value and multiply it by 0.6 or 0.7. This will give you either 60% or 70% of your maximum heart rate. All you need to do is now exercise and make sure your heart rate stays somewhere between that range, and you're all set. Next, ensure that you are getting at least 6 hours of sleep per night, but again, preferably shoot for 7. Health gurus out there will tell you that you must get 8+ hours of sleep per night, or there's no way you're going to be healthy. But I'm here to tell you it's not quite that simple. Is sleep important? Absolutely. But killing yourself to try and get that coveted 8 hours of sleep can actually do more harm than good, especially if you have thyroid insomnia. We know from research that the cutoff for sleep is 6 hours per night. Anything less than this, and you'll start to see changes to your TSH, T3, and reverse T3. Anything more is great if you can get it, but don't stress yourself trying to get 8 because it can backfire. If you want to fix thyroid insomnia, look into a treatment called CBTI. It's hands down the most effective sleep therapy that I know of. Next, you will need 1 full body strength training session each week. Cardio is great, which is what we talked about with zone 2 training. But if you want your body composition to change, you need to be lifting weights. But you don't have to be a bodybuilder to get these benefits. You just need 1 full body resistance training session each week. For this session, make sure you are focusing on compound movements, which would include things like squats, rows, hip thrusts, deadlifts, and lunges. These will trigger a release of growth hormone and testosterone, and they will also help you build muscle mass and boost your thyroid at the same time. But what about those other 10% of people that I mentioned in the beginning? What are they supposed to do? If you follow this formula and you're not seeing results, you probably fall into that group. And for this group of people, the missing piece is usually more T3. T3 provides a direct boost to your metabolism. It can easily be added to all other thyroid medications, and it works quickly. If you're not taking T3, start with a dose that is roughly 20% of your total T4 dose. From there, you will optimize your thyroid medication dosing until you see a drop in your thyroid symptoms, steady and continued weight loss, improved leptin levels, an increase in your free T3, and a drop in your reverse T3. These all indicate that you're on the right path. Yes, weight loss is slower if you have a thyroid problem, but it's always possible. The key is to stay consistent and track your progress over weeks and months and not days. And remember, the scale often lies to thyroid patients, which is why it's one of the worst ways to track and measure your weight loss effort. If you want to learn how to correctly track your weight loss, make sure you check out this video next.